Previously on Tomb Raider: The Angel of Darkness. Now where is that door, you may ask? Billy, get out. Billy, get out of the way. And with that, our adventure continues. Hello everybody, Jonathan Wolf here, and welcome back to the Tomb Raider Marathon. Today we're continuing with Tomb Raider: The Angel of Darkness, and today we're going to be tackling the second half of the Hall of Seasons, and then we're going to be returning to the Louvre and basically escape from the Tomb of Ancients. So yeah, with that said, let's get started. Also, I gotta remember what save I have. I think it's number 3. Because yeah, this is actually the third time I'm recording this video, because the first time I had OBS overload, or had the encoder overload, which I have no idea why that's even a thing. The second time I recorded both this and the next episode no problem, but the quality was absolute garbage. So yeah, let's just say that no matter what I do in this channel, the last thing I want is to produce a bad quality video. If I ever do that, I'm retiring. And yeah, basically, hopefully this recording is alright. I'm going to check it the moment I finish this. But yeah, with that said, this is attempt number 3. So let's go. Alright, so here we go, where we pretty much ended the last video. We have this giant mechanism. And basically, what we have to do is we have to turn 4 valves. Now, the first valve is going to be over here to the left. And you can actually see over here to the top, we have the wind symbol, meaning that this is actually the wind valve. And yeah, basically we have to find valves that represent the elements. So as soon as we turn this valve, we're gonna hear wind flow, and I guess we're gonna have wind flow into this machine or something. I don't know how it actually works, but you know, it works. It just works, you know. So yeah, as you can see down there, we have the fire symbol. Up there, we got the earth symbol, and up there, you can kind of see it, but over there's the water symbol. And basically, we have to spin all 4 valves. Now, as you can see down there where the fire valve is, you may notice there's actually a grate where the valve is. And that is because you cannot turn the fire valve until you turn the other 3. It doesn't matter which order, but basically it tells you, or it's telling you that the fire valve has to be the last valve you spin. So yeah, basically, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna back up a little bit, and then I'm gonna jump to this center platform, or this upper platform, because up in here we can actually grab this chain. If Lara will be underneath it, there we go, and we can actually make it to the water valve. And yeah, this is actually the only way to get to the water valve. And yeah, I would say this is the hardest valve to get to, because there's no easy way to get into that upper platform in the center. You can actually do it from a running jump from the platform we started on. In other words, where the wind valve is. There, as you can see, by turning this, we now have water flowing, which is awesome. And yeah, now we're basically halfway with the valve. So now we have to turn the earth valve, and then we can turn the fire valve. Alright, but now we gotta get to the earth valve. And there's actually multiple ways of doing it. From this platform, you can actually do a running jump to that platform over there. Or from when you start, you can actually do a running jump as well. However, I'm gonna do it the quote-unquote legit way. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let go and grab this ledge, which, yes, you can do that in this game. And then we're just gonna go ahead and grab this chain, and then we're gonna make it to this platform right here, where the ladder is. And yeah, basically, once we get to... Thank you, Laura. That was awesome of you. Also, yeah, we got Billy down here. Don't hit me, you son of a gun. Okay. Yeah, we want to try not to take a lot of damage because we do have to fight a boss at the end of this level. And yeah, the boss that we're fighting is regarded by many as one of the most infamous sections in Angel of Darkness. Although, to be fair, the bosses in Angel of Darkness are widely considered to be the worst part of this game in terms of the combat and everything else. Because, yeah, these bosses are atrocious. And honestly, even I will not even I will admit that the bosses are garbage. Okay, now once you get to this ladder, you may notice that in front of me there's actually this black grate. And basically, what you want to do is you want to have Laura's butt at the bottom of the grate. And once you get this position, you just want to do a backflip. Because you'll actually make it to this platform and you're not going to hit your head on the ceiling. So that is awesome. But yeah, once we do that, we're just going to go up this ladder and then spin the earth valve. But yeah, the boss we're fighting in this level is regarded by many as one of the worst bosses in Tomb Raider, in classic Tomb, or actually in Tomb Raider his period. Alright, so we're gonna have earth flow, whatever the hell that means. I'm pretty sure we're going to have like stones just roll into the contraption or something, I don't know. But yeah, let's go ahead and backtrack. And now what we're gonna do is we're going to, if Laura would grab the chain, we're going to go back to the middle and we're going to spin the fire valve. Actually, before we do that, no, let's just, actually no, let's not do it. Let's do this now just to get out of the way. But where this ladder is, you may notice the red glow over there. And yeah, there's actually a, oh, Billy, what are you doing? Alright, let me just backflip. And I took damage. Nice. This is all your fault, Billy. You son of a bitch. Okay. But yeah, there is some ammunition where the ladder, in the area where the ladder is. Alright. But yeah, now let's go ahead and spin this valve right here. Now, as soon as you turn this valve, you want to get out of this. You want to get out of this platform because you're going to activate some blades. So we're gonna back up a little bit, and then we're gonna do a sick flip, and then we're just gonna make it to this ladder, which is right here to my right. And yeah, by turning all the valves, we're going to activate this machine. And as you can see, we have these blades that are gonna try to slice you into pieces. However, if you get out of the middle the moment you... That's the wrong side. If you get out of the center when you turn, before the blade starts to spin, you will basically avoid them all the time. Also, is Billy getting whacked by the blade? No, he's not. Okay. All right, and now that we turned the machine on, we can now go back to the top, because by activating this machine, we caused some platforms to raise in the center room of the Hall of Seasons. So that is awesome. So yeah, now we have to go back. So yeah, right here we got the door that we came from. And now what we got to do is we have to avoid these traps. Now we did avoid them at the end of the last video, but I'm gonna show them anyway, just to... Oh my god, I almost died there. I'm gonna show them anyway to just because. But yeah, right here, I would say that this rock is the hardest one to avoid, because you basically need to do a running jump to actually avoid it completely. For this trap, what I like to do is I like to wait for one of the blades to retract and do a jump. For these traps, just hug the wall. And then for this trap, stop in front of it, and when it retracts, go. And yeah, then once you get to this point, we want to go into this area and pull this chain. And this chain is going to activate an elevator that will take us back to the main room of the Hall of Seasons. Now, before we continue, we are going to stop in this little pit stop to grab some bandages and some shotgun shells, which is awesome. And yeah, we're going to pull the lever one more time. And the elevator is gonna move by itself for some reason. And after crossing this gate, we're gonna be back into the main room of the Hall of Seasons. We also get teleported to the left for some reason. And yeah, by crossing this door, yeah, I did show you this door in the last video, and as you can see, we are back in the main room. And there's Billy right there. Billy the boner. Billy the bony guy. And yeah, by activating the mechanism in the bottom, we now activated these 4 platforms that are going to start to raise and lower. And now the objective of this area is to get to the very top of the main room in the Hall of Seasons. And basically, what you want to do is basically the idea is you want to jump to the next platform when the platform you're on is at the highest point. So right about here-ish. Or when the next platform is lower than the platform that you're on. Okay, so right here we have a very interesting quirk. And that's the fact that when you try to grab this ledge, as you can see, Lara will just grab nothing. Or she will just grab the edge of the ledge. Or sometimes she won't do this. Now, if you bug out and do not grab the ledge, what I recommend is you want to wait for this platform to stop moving. So once it gets to the highest point about here, when it stops moving, like there, you want to do the jump and grab the ledge. And you will actually grab this ledge no problem. And you're not going to bug out. Now, once we get to the circular platform, what you want to do is you want to go directly across from when you pulled up and find this straight plank, because the other support beams are curved. And then if you try to walk onto them, yeah, you're going to fall off. Now, as we walk over here, we're going to spawn, we're going to have Billy coming like the Kool-Aid Man. And right over here, we can either go to the left or to the right. We're going to go to the right as we enter this second floor, because to the left, there is a gate that is going to prevent you from getting into those stairs. And you're also going to spawn more skeletons. And we don't want that because, yeah, Billy's cousins can actually follow up these stairs. So yeah, let's quick climb this ladder, which you can do by holding the jump button. And you can only do this by doing running jumps. And once we get to the 3rd floor, what you want to do is you want to go to the other side through the left. Because on the left, there's going to be a climbable wall. Now, before we continue on, actually, I want to get rid of these guys. Or at the very least, one of them. Because these guys can follow us to a specific point in the level. Ow. Oh, he didn't hit me, but still. Also, you got knocked out. Nah, whatever. Honestly, those two I'm not worried about. It's the guy that spawned on the bottom that I'm worried about. But yeah, right here we got this climbable wall, and basically we want to climb it where that lever is. Now, right above me, there's actually more climbable wall. However, if you try to keep going up, yeah, look at that. There's a 3rd guy. If you try to continue going up, you're not going to make it. So essentially, what we have to do is we need to get a upper body strength upgrade. Now, to get this upgrade, what you want to do is you want to pull this lever, and then you want to backtrack to the beginning of this floor. Now, this is going to be the hard part because Billy's cousins are going to be on our face all the time. So let's see if we can actually do this quick. But yeah, right here in this room, we have some shotgun shells, and we also have this crack in the wall, and by pushing it, we're gonna feel stronger.
I feel stronger now.
And there it is. And in this covey area, we do have a large med pack. So now that we got the upper body strength upgrade, we can now make it to the very top of the main room in the Hall of Seasons. Or I guess the Hall of Seasons, because yeah, Because, yeah, we have, like, the main room, we have the basement, and then we have the very top. So, and it's still the same place. It's not like we have, like, a level transition, like in the trials. And also, I think I already mentioned this in the last video, but when we do a screen transition that is not a loading screen to another level, we do not get healed. So, yeah, we're basically stuck with half health until we finish this level. So that is awesome. All right, now once we get back to the lever, we actually want to let go to refresh our grip meter. And then what you want to do is you just want to press forward. Because by pressing forward, we're just going to make it to the very end of this pathway. I also love how Lara automatically turns by herself. That's actually pretty cool. Alright, and once you get to this point, we want to make it to this platform that is right here to the left. And you will barely make it, which is awesome. Alright, and now we got to do another climb. This one can be scary because if you get stuck, you're basically dead. I do highly recommend you save your game, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump and grab the monkey bar, and then I'm going to go over here to the left. And once we get to this point, Lara's going to climb a new wall. Now, once we get to this point, you have to let go of the analog stick and press forward again. Otherwise, if you keep holding forward, Lara will not go up. But once you get to this point, what you can do is you can either go to the left, or you can just do a backflip, and you'll actually make it no problem into this area. And there we go. We made it to the end of the Hall of Seasons. And here we got another screen transition. Alright. And coming up... Oh, whoops.
Ultra Vigilis Umbram, Ecce Veritas. Through the spirit of the Keeper, behold the truth.
I was too fast. Suddenly, spooky ghost. Yeah, I wish the camera would turn a little bit faster. Okay. So, for this part, I highly recommend you save your game. Also, I'm going to prepare my... No, not you. I'm going to prepare my weapon. Because this is going to be... This is going to be a very interesting fight. But yeah, I highly recommend you save your game right here. Because this is the fight that I was talking about. Now, this fight is regarded by many as one of the worst fights in Tomb Raider history. And honestly, I do agree to some extent. Because this is one of these fights that it's either very easy or it's very difficult. It's kind of similar to Bolas's from Luigi's Mansion or Bongo Bongo from... Ocarina of Time, where either people have a really easy time with them or they have a really hard time with them. Personally, I suffered what I like to call first time syndrome, where on your first attempt, you basically nail this fight. You basically nail the hard stuff on your first try, no problem. But as you replay the game, you start failing because, yeah, spoilers. When I first played this fight, I got this one on my first try with no problem. But just to jump the gun on the low quality recording that I did, I died 5 times. So yeah, let's just see if this actually improves, you know. But yeah, let's go ahead and explain this fight. So this fight is... Well, first off, this is Brother Obscura, and basically, instead of this being a boss fight, it's more of a puzzle fight. Similar to it's basically similar to other fights in the series, like Sophia Lee from Tomb Raider 3, or pretty much, oh my god, what I'm trying to say, oh my god, okay. So yeah, this fight is a puzzle fight, which is very similar to the boss fight against the cow in Tomb Raider 4, or even Set and Sophia Lee from Tomb Raiders 4 and 3. Now, basically, what you have to do for this fight is you have to get the Obscura painting. However, Yeah, this thing is not hard. Now, if you watch the cutscene, you may notice that, and yeah, by the way, by crouching, you will avoid pretty much all damage from this guy. But yeah, basically, if you saw that cutscene, you may notice that one of the statues had a blue glow. And if you look at that statue right in front of me, you can kind of see a tiny blue glow, which is very hard to see because of the heat wave. But the Obscura painting, basically the idea is to grab the Obscura painting. However, if you try to grab it, you will see that the... Also, yeah, that's actually another thing. This guy can kill you in one hit because it has one of the worst collisions out of any enemy. If you thought touch damage was bad with the T-Rex in Tomb Raider 1, then oh boy, then you sure haven't fought this guy. But yeah, basically what you have to do for this fight is you have to get the Obscura painting. And basically, when you try to get near the painting will teleport. So you may think, okay, so what do I have to do to grab the Obscura painting? Well, what you have to do is you basically have to shoot this ghost enough times so that you actually stun him. And while he's stunned, you actually have to go and grab the Obscura painting. And I have to admit, the concept of this fight is really not that bad. In fact, I actually really do like the concept of this boss fight. The problem is that the camera on this fight is very bad because, like I mentioned, the camera for the combat is just atrocious. Not to mention that this guy can kill you in literally one hit if you're not careful. Even at full health, he can instantly kill you. But yeah, basically for this fight, what I like to do is I like to be near the location of the Obscura painting, and then what I like to do is I like to shoot him with a weapon of choice, and then just shoot him until he gets stunned. Now the problem about this fight is because the damage output in this game is depends how close you are to an enemy. This can either take all of your ammo or no ammo whatsoever. In fact, in the remaster, there is an achievement for getting the Obscura painting in less than a minute. So, yeah, that's how insane you can get, and without taking damage, which is also a retro achievement, which I actually did get on my first try, by the way. So, yeah, that's the first game syndrome striking again. But yeah, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Desert Ranger because the Desert Ranger tends to be more effective than the shotgun, even though they give you a shotgun in this level. But I feel that with the shotgun is a bit more ineffective. Well, considering that A is a shotgun and B, I want to try to get to B to stay clear of this guy. Now, another thing I want to mention is that while you shoot at him, I recommend you actually take as much distance from this guy as possible. And also, he usually tends, on my experience, to be stunned after he does the charge attack. So what I would recommend is shoot him enough times and then crouch while he does the charge attack, and then see if he gets stunned. If he doesn't move, if he stops moving, or if he stops going around or just wobbling. Or yeah, if he stops moving after doing a charge, that means that he's stunned. However, like I mentioned, this guy can be stunned for like a second or like multiple seconds. So essentially, yeah, basically this fight is based on luck. And yeah, I'm just gonna tell you, and yeah, basically good luck. So yeah, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wait for him to charge. Also, don't pull out your weapon because if you do, your hitbox will be increased and he's actually going to damage you on his charge attack. Okay, so he stopped moving, so which means that he's actually stunned. So we can actually go to the statue and grab the Obscura painting. So yeah, if he's not moving, that means that he's stunned. And yeah, once you get the Obscura painting, we can now leave. However, as you can see, the Hall of Seasons is now flooded. And if we try to go back the way we came, we cannot do so. However, this door is now open. And by going through this pathway, we're going to be sent back into the Tomb of Ancients. So yeah, we basically have, and yeah, basically now what we have to do is we have to go all the way back to the Louvre. And was not. I was pressing forward, game. Okay. Okay then. Nice to see that I can exploit some glitches again. That is awesome. Alright, and yeah, basically we're back in the Tomb of Ancients. And as you can see, this area is now flooded. So now what we have to do is we now have to swim to the top. And yeah, basically where we are right now is basically on the other side of a jump we did in the last, or in the, when we did this level. Yeah, we actually are in this area. Now, I don't know if the shotgun or the shells actually respawn down there. In fact, I don't even know if the grate is still open, but I don't care. Ammo's overrated. So instead what I'm going to do is we're going to swim to the very top because there is this ledge that has some bandages. Now, I did grab some bandages that respawn when entering this area again because remember, items respawn when you grab them again, when you enter areas again, which is, I don't know if it's actually, I don't know if it's a thing in the remaster, but I'm not gonna know until I play it. But yeah, basically what you want to do is, yeah, we're basically gonna backtrack the way we came. So as soon as you grab the bandages, you want to find the hole to the right, and then you want to swim up back into the archaeological dig. And for some reason we emerged from like a grate instead of like the main entrance, but oh well. I guess Lara found a like an alternate exit. And yeah, as you can see, the archaeological dig is now shut off, so we can no longer go in there. But yeah, with that said, let's go into the gates and enter the galleries under siege. Now, why are they under siege? Well, we're gonna find out later. Also, I completely forgot to mention this, but yeah, from this point, in this video, we are officially halfway through the game. Now, to be completely honest, we actually passed the halfway point when we were tackling the trials in the Hall of Seasons last video. But in terms of videos, we are now in the second half of the game. So yeah, you can basically tell that. So yeah, basically this will be a 14 video walkthrough series. Alright, so right here we're back in the Louvre galleries, and we do have some security guys. This guy will emerge from this room, which is still completely useless. Like, you cannot do anything in this room, which is kind of disappointing. But I am going to prepare my K2 impactor because this is the best weapon to use in this level. Honestly, it's the best weapon in the game, in my opinion. But yeah, as we continue on climbing the ladders, or the steps, we're going to see why these galleries are under siege.
Take the rear door. Stay soft.
Swing to sector A9. Fan out and keep low. Okay, maintain radio silence. You have your targets. Move out.
Alright, so after infiltrating the storm drains, going through the Louvre itself, and going back and going in and out of the Hall of Seasons, Gunderson and his men finally caught up to us. Well, it took you long enough. I guess he was waiting for us to collect the item, or the Obscura painting. But yeah, as you can see when we approach this door, we're gonna have this green ominous gas coming from this door. And now we have the main gimmick of this level. So as soon as you enter this room, and yeah, I do recommend you save your game. Yeah, just in case I suffer another recording issue, because my God, I've been wanting to get this video done already. But yeah, basically, as soon as you cross this door, we're going to fight Gunderson's men. And there are 12 of these, or in the original version, there are 12 of these guys we have to deal with. Now, This part can be kind of weird because sometimes the enemies will decide to not spawn in. And yeah, it can be very annoying if you want to go for all kills and all items, considering that some enemies that do not spawn in will drop items or ammunition or drops essentially. However, I have found a very easy strategy to spawn them all and kill them all very effectively. And also, I do want to give a shout out to Retro Achievements because that actually taught me how to get them all. You see, Retro Achievements is a fantastic website because it basically allows you to fully experience a game. More on that after this walkthrough. But yeah, with that said, let's go ahead and go through the door. And yeah, now we have, and yeah, basically as soon as we go into this room, we are timed because the poison gas is going to slowly kill Lara. Now, as soon as we enter this room, we're going to have this guy, and he will drop his assault rifle. However, this weapon is pretty much worthless, considering that we have the impactor. Now, Lara did say something, but I did cut her off because I wanted to kill this guy. However, if we continue on...
Must hold my breath till I find the respirator.
Then stop talking, woman. What is wrong with you? Alright. But yeah, basically we have a guy down there. We try to continue on. Now, over here, when we actually enter this room, we're going to have this guy on the distance. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take him out. However, I'm not going to cross this glass container because if you do, you're going to miss on an extra spawn. So once you take him out, we actually want to go back to spawn this guy. And then once you take out this guy, what you want to do is now you want to cross this glass container. And then we want to go to the rope that this guy descended on. Oh, suck it up, Lara. Because by crossing this row, we are going to spawn an extra guy behind us. Now, what I'm also going to do is I'm going to run around this room because by doing so, we're going to trigger an extra spawn that is going to be on the left. So yeah, there he is. Now, one thing you got to keep in mind is that when this guy spawns, you will spawn 2 other guys later in the level. So yeah, if he doesn't spawn, make sure you run around in that room with the glass container, and basically, and you will basically spawn him eventually. Now, basically, when we entered the gas room, we did saw a cutscene of a container with some gas masks. Now, I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't remember if I did show this in the Louvre Galleries video, but basically where we want to go is we want to go to the hallway that had Cavier's office. And yeah, there's actually going to be another guy over there. So yeah, at the end of the corridor, we have at the end of this corridor over here, we got Cavier's office, as you can see right here. And basically, once we get to this hallway, we want to go to the first door on the left, or the first door on the right in this hallway. Now, once we get to this point, we want to go to this glass panel.
And not before time.
We actually want to go into this cabinet and grab the respirator. Also, I'm going to run out of breath. Oh my god, hurry up, woman. Oh god, I barely run out. But yeah, basically, once you grab the respirator, we can actually go to our items inventory and use it. Protects against dangerous fumes during restoration processes. And yeah, basically, when you equip it...
Hold down the sprint button to run faster.
Yeah, we're going to have the respirator. But also, we're going to have this green bar. And this green bar is basically like a extended air meter. So, and I'm pretty sure it lasts like either double or triple the normal air meter. Now, in this cabinet on the right, we do have some pills. And that is basically all of the items for now. Actually, no, that is all the items in this level. So now what we have to do is we have to finish the level. And that's basically it. Although we do have 5 more kills we want to get. Now, by picking up the respirator, you may also notice that Lara did say something about foot speed increased. And basically, we now have the ability, by picking up the respirator for some reason, we now have the ability to sprint. And I have to say, this sprinting mechanic is actually really good because, and I would say it's the best sprinting out of any Tomb Raider game. And basically, to sprint, you want to press the look button, which is R2, on PlayStation.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, as you can see, Lara moves really fast. And as far as I know, she will not stop whatsoever. So yeah, you can basically sprint at your heart's content, which is pretty awesome. I really love the sprint mechanic in this game. And the fact that we get it past the halfway point of the game is a bit it's a bit jarring, but you know, better late than never. Alright, now once you get down this ladder, there should be 2 guys. So yeah, we got a guy right there. I am gonna hide so that the first guy despawns, so that I stop locking onto him, because yeah, to this day I still have no idea how to switch targets in this game. Somebody will probably tell me in the comments, and I will find out eventually, because all of this is recorded in advance. So there you go.
Uh-huh.
Now, once you grab the respirator, you may also notice that we also got a cutscene of a light being turned on, and the light is actually this one right here. And basically, once you get the respirator, we can actually go through this door, and coming through this door will basically allow us to finish the level. Now, as soon as you enter this level, you're going to spawn a guy going down the rappel, and once you take him out, there's going to be 2 more guys in this hallway. And once you take them out, we officially took out every single enemy in this level. And yeah, with that said, we are basically done with this level. So once we get to the bottom floor, we want to go over here to the right, and you can also continue, and you can continue on to the right over here and go into the bathroom for some reason. But yeah, there's really nothing in here. So yeah, there's no items, there's no enemies, there's pretty much nothing. So yeah, what you want to do is you just want to continue on into this gallery portion, and yeah, we just go through here. And with that said, we are done with this level and this video. But first, we have a cutscene and the sort of introduction of a new character. Why didn't Gunderson just turn the thing the other way, or let alone just vault it over? I don't get these bad guys like giving up on chasing the hero. It's dumb. It's really dumb. Also, and yeah, with that said, we got knocked out by Bouchard's doorman? That is odd. So, what, is Bouchard working for Gunderson and Eckhart or something? I don't know. I guess we'll find out later. But ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for this episode of the Tomb Raider Marathon. Thank you all so much for watching this video. And yeah, next time we meet, we're going to be moving on to the final level of the Paris section in Tomb Raider 6. Because yeah, after the next level, we're going to be moving on to a brand new country. And if you've paid attention to the cinematics, you may actually have an idea of where to go. Although we will get spoiled, sort of, in the next level. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for watching this episode of Tomb Raider Tomb Raider: The Angel of Darkness. I'm Jonathan Wolf, and I will see you all in the Monstrum the Monstrum crime scene. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy, everyone.